on the ropes and with no message about rising crime or the struggling economy to appeal to voters, Joe Biden has gone to pot, literally. The president's election eve marijuana order has him yet again putting politics over people's lives and health. A shameless attempt to buy off the votes of young people and lower-income minority communities. Mr. Biden is waving around his pen again to dig himself out of the political cellar. The American left and some on the right, along with the big tobacco companies already responsible for millions of deaths from their products, have spent a fortune to convince communities of color that legalizing THC, that's the psychoactive part of marijuana, is social justice, and the people jailed for breaking the law are victims. Even more bizarrely, they've claimed for years that more marijuana leads to more empowerment. The reality has proven otherwise. Black and minority entrepreneurs have seen little financial benefit of legalization, having been muscled out by big tobacco companies run by wealthy whites. Legalization is not generating the massive tax revenue haul that was supposed to be funneled into underserved communities. Arrests in many places aren't down, and the black market is thriving. Today in Denver, Colorado, there are more pot shops than Starbucks and McDonald's combined, and the vast majority of them are in minority neighborhoods. Federal decriminalization was really the only move left for Mr. Biden, the only thing that he could do to quickly try to convince voters they should stick with the Democrat Party that is presiding over the new urban and cultural decay. Again, playing the race card, he sounds like he's righting some sort of systemic wrong. In actuality, of the nearly 160,000 federal prisoners in 2021, very few are in prison only for simple marijuana offenses, most of those for higher quantity possession as well as other crimes. The real consequence of all of this, of course, it'll create more momentum toward full legalization and more government dependency. That inertia, even when legalization is absent, encourages the increased use of THC products developed through billions in investment from big tobacco and the major alcohol companies. The appalling nature of this tactic from the White House goes beyond the mere political manipulation when you consider the consequences of expanded THC use. Places where marijuana is legal are having significant difficulty hiring workers that can actually pass drug tests in construction, transportation, healthcare, and other industries. That's forcing employers to seek help out of state. To compensate, Democrat states are making it illegal to discriminate, in their words, in employment over marijuana use, despite the dangers. You know, the old Joe Biden questioned the wisdom of promoting and legalizing marijuana for decades. Increased possession translates to increased usage. But his latest pivot to the left now puts the imprimatur of the President of the United States for the first time on the bogus contention that possession and use of marijuana is somehow benign. It is not. There are more than 20,000 peer-reviewed researched articles linking marijuana use to severe mental health outcomes, including depression, suicide, psychosis, and cognitive impairment. Youth use of marijuana has more than tripled among high school students since 2017. The dirty little secret the industry and the left won't tell Americans is that the potency of marijuana has increased dramatically. Potency has more than doubled between 2008 and 2017. THC products engineered from concentrates of the drug went from an average of 6.7% to more than 55% over a 10-year period. That industrialization leads to more negative health impacts and addiction. Even one of President Obama's top drug policy advisors, Dr. Kevin Sabet, has been saying for years that today's pot isn't Woodstock weed. U.S. Surgeons General, appointed by both Republican and Democrat presidents, have repeatedly urged against legalization because they know it's not a harmless drug. You know, Democrats have helped sink millions of Americans into what psychologists now call coronaphobia. That's the irrational fear of COVID-19. Now they're cheerleaders for policies that minimize the danger of THC. Cannabis use disorder among 12 to 17-year-olds is up 25% in states that have legalized. The majority of localities in so-called legalized states have opted out of sales because they're smart enough to know that drug use in their communities isn't a good thing. Mr. Biden's latest voter enticement makes for a great soundbite for the social justice warrior crowd, but it does nothing to deal with America's growing drug problem, punctuated by a fentanyl crisis coming across the southern border that the administration loves to ignore. The president's appeal for votes will only encourage more drug use, not less. What the president says matters, and more drug-addled Americans is not what America needs.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
Let me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.